Shalom and welcome to this week's installation of a Bisseleh Torah. This Shabbat has a special name appended to it. It is called Shabbat Shuvah, the Sabbath of repentance or the Sabbath of return. And it always comes between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, an opportunity to think deeply about the things that matter most in life. In Moses' speech in the final hours of his life, which begins this week's Torah reading, begins with the words, Ben Mea V'Eshrim, Anochi, I am 120 years old. Moses isn't boasting. He's making a statement, a fact that is followed up by these words, Lo uchal l'sefer lavo. I'm not able to go and come anymore like I was when I was young. The infirmities of age have come upon me. I don't feel strong anymore. But I do feel strong and wise enough to be able to deliver these final words to you, the people whom I love. It's a powerful statement about Moses and about the way that the children of Israel listened to him in his final hours of life. One of my colleagues told this story recently in a similar nature of going to a nursing home and there being assembled there a little bit more than half a dozen people. He sang and he prayed and he preached and he talked to them about the prayers, and they were utterly irresponsive to him. Most of them just sat staring off, some of them with their eyes closed. And finally, in one of the ultimate prayers that he said to them, Shema Kolenu, hear our voice, a prayer that we say every Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that is repeated by the congregation after they hear the Chazan sing it. And then when this rabbi got to the phrase, Al tashlicheni la'ed zikna, it was said by the person who was lying prone on a bed with his eyes closed and unresponsive during the whole time, in the same tonality with him gesticulating, however, wildly, Al tashlicheni la'ed zikna, do not cast me away when I am old. And when he finished repeating those words that the rabbi said, he sat back down, closed his eyes, and returned to this almost comatose state that he was in beforehand. And everyone was amazed, mostly his son sitting next to him, that this phrase had awakened in him something extraordinarily powerful. Now the words are actually Al tashlichenu, do not cast us off. But the words that he pronounced it were Al tashlichenu, do not cast me off. You know, a society ultimately is going to be judged by the way that it treats its most needy people. And sometimes those needy people are the eldest in our communities, and they are cast off. They are thrown away. They are disregarded because we think them of little value anymore. They don't produce anymore. They don't create anymore. They take space. We're all going to get old. We're all in the process of getting old. And as we age and as we see that we're no longer able to do the things that we once were able to do, I'm one of those individuals, older now and not able to do with alacrity the physical or mental gymnastics that I used to be able to do. And we need to consider the most elderly among us and the most infirm among us as being the most coveted and the most celebrated for the fact that they have lived a good long life. And sometimes their wisdom can bring great life and great light to us who think we know so much more than they do. Now, Shabbat Shuvah is a time to think deeply about the way that we treat our most vulnerable population, the one that needs perhaps the greatest care and the one that receives the least. I wish you all Shabbat Shalom, aging gracefully, and treating those who are aging with grace and dignity. And Gemar Chatima Tova. May it be God's will that we all merit to be inscribed and sealed in the book of life, in the book of health, in the book of continuity and joy.